So to understand the GNSS based positioning, first you have to understand what is datum or what is reference frame. So first I will cover what is datum, and in that part there are actually two type of datum, which are horizontal as well as vertical datum. Now there might be a question that why two type of datum we are using for positioning. So the answer will lie in later session. After the datum, I will cover what is called coordinate system, and specifically the Cartesian and geographic coordinate. After that, the navigation satellite system will be covered. And in that, you have a two type of navigation system. One is global and another is regional navigation system. Later, the GBS segment will be covered, and finally, how we can estimate the position of any object on the Earth's surface. So, the positioning principle. So in GNSS-based satellite system, as I already mentioned, that two type of frame, or you can say a datum is required. So two type of datum means one datum for the horizontal positioning and one for vertical. So the two datums have some specific requirement or specific reason. So I will tell you why we need two type of datum. So first, let us understand what is horizontal datum. Horizontal datum is actually ellipsoidal model of Earth, with which, with respect to which we actually try to find the coordinate of any point on the Earth's surface. Then there is a vertical datum, and the vertical datum is also known as zero surface elevation, which means at the vertical datum, the elevation, or you can say the height, is considered to be zero, and all the height on the Earth's surface or above it or below it will have definite value with respect to that reference level. And the zero reference level is actually your mean sea level. Now coming to positioning. So before starting the positioning, you need to understand what is horizontal datum and why we need it. Okay. So the horizontal datum is a reference surface with respect to which you try to find the position in terms of say planimetric coordinate. So what is planimetric coordinate or what is surface coordinate, in which we have only two coordinate value, not the third dimension. So for horizontal positioning, you need horizontal datum, and how you are going to define the horizontal datum. So to understand that, just consider the very first picture that you have understand about the Earth. So in the very beginning of your education or in your classes, you learn that Earth is more like a sphere. But as you gradually understand the basic physics and basic mathematics at advanced level, you come to know that actually Earth is not a sphere, but it is more like a say egg-like shape. Egg-like shape means it is bulging out at equator and compressed at pole. So the shape which you got, or which you have an idea about the Earth, is more like a ellipsoid. Okay, so the horizontal datum is a best fitted ellipsoidal model of Earth. Now, what do you mean by best fitted? So when you say something is best, which means there is some criteria. So whenever we try to fit a best fitted model or anything, generally the least squares approach is used. So the ellipsoidal model which actually fitted on the Earth's surface is best in terms of least squares. Okay, so I'm not going into the detail of how you are going to fit the model, but just giving you the basic idea and overview how reference ellipsoid is defined. And since you are fitting a mathematical model on the Earth's surface, and that's why the surface is called mathematical surface. So when I say mathematical surface, please keep in mind whatever surface you are considering, if you can represent them either by using some equation or formula, then that surface is called mathematical surface. A very simple example is like a sphere. The equation of a sphere is x square plus y square plus z square is equal to r square, where r is the radius of a sphere and the center of the sphere is 0, 0, 0, which is actually origin. Okay, so that sphere is a mathematical surface. Similar way, you can define a plane. So ax plus by plus cz plus d is equal to 0. It is a definition of a plane in 3D, where a, b, c, and d are the parameter of the plane. Okay, so by this way, you can define a mathematical surface. Now, practically or in way to understand ellipsoid, how you can create it. So ellipsoid can be created by rotating an ellipse about its minor axis. So if all of you have idea about the ellipse, you know that it has a two axis. One is major axis and one is minor axis. So when you try to rotate an ellipse about its minor axis, even if you try to rotate for major axis also, you will get an ellipse. Sorry, you can get an ellipsoid. Okay, so rotating an ellipse about its minor axis will give you an ellipsoid. Okay, and in case of Earth, that particular minor axis is aligning with the axis of rotation of Earth. So if you have an ellipse and if its minor axis is about the axis of rotation of Earth, because we all know that Earth is rotating about its axis and the time period of rotation is 24 hours, roughly 24 hours. So the axis about which Earth is rotating, if the minor axis of the ellipse is aligning with itself and you try to rotate the ellipse, because keep in mind ellipse is a 2D surface, then you will get an ellipsoid. So this is how you get a best ellipsoid for Earth. So you can see the figure. So this is the very simple simplified view of Earth's surface. And I have shown it in 2D, not in 3D. Okay, and when you try to fit an ellipse on it, it will be look like this. So the vertical line has a size of 2b, while horizontal one has a size of 2a. So if you try to rotate the ellipse, which is shown as a yellow color, about 2b, which is a minor axis, then you will get an ellipsoid. So by this way, you define your horizontal datum. So the geometry of the datum is defined. Now, coming to vertical datum. So how you are going to define vertical datum? So very first question is why we are going to define the vertical datum. Why we can't use the horizontal datum itself for finding the third coordinate? Because again, it is a 3D surface. So we can directly use the 3D value or third dimension value of this ellipsoid. Yeah, we get actually 3D value from the ellipsoid, but it actually cannot be used for all the practical purpose. So I will give you the reason why we cannot directly use it. So to understand it, just think about the problem. Suppose I give you 2 point A and B, and I ask you, and I tell you actually that water is flowing from point A to point B. Okay, so you have a 2 point A and B somewhere in space, and water is flowing from A to B. And if I ask you a question, what is the force or what is the basic phenomena which is driving it? Or what is the reason behind that water is flowing from A to B? So very common or very generic or very simple or layman answer will be that the point A will be at higher, you can say altitude, and point B will be at lower altitude, and that's how the water is flowing from higher to lower value. Yeah, that answer is correct, but it is not the best answer, you can say technically correct answer. The water actually flows always from the point where the gravitational potential is high to the point where the gravitational potential is low. You must have seen some experiment in which if a drum is filled with the water and you insert a pipe inside it and try to keep the pipe somewhere at different point, then water will directly go from the drum and coming out to the pipe. So if only height plays the role, then it should not come out of the pipe, even if it is going, if it has a shape of say U curve pipe, which means height is not the driving factor. The driving factor is the gravitational potential. So water will always flow from the point from higher potential to lower potential, and that's why for all the vertical or you can say all the height measurement are done with respect to gravity point of view or somehow gravity is always involved. So to define a vertical datum, you need to have idea of equipotential surface. So the gravity potential, which you must have learned in your school level physics, the same potential is actually used. Okay, so the equipotential surface of gravity is used to define the vertical datum. So at different points, you have a different value of gravity. So if you join all the point having same gravity potential, they will create a surface, and that surface is called equipotential surface. Now the thing is, this surface is not a physical, or you can say a real surface. It is just a virtual or hypothetical surface. Okay, so the equipotential surface is hypothetical because it actually doesn't exist. So you cannot touch that surface by your hand, but it has some physical understanding. Why physical understanding? Because it is related to gravity. Okay, so the equipotential surface is hypothetical surface and it is related to gravity. That's why it is also called physical surface. So don't get confused with the physical by means we can touch it. It is physical because it is related to a physical property of Earth, which is gravity. Now there are multiple type of equipotential surface exist. Why multiple? Because if you change the height, every height have different type of potential value. So for each potential value, you have one surface, which means if there are 100 potential value, you have 100 type of surface. And that's why you have a multiple equipotential surface. But the question is, if you want to find the height with respect to a reference datum, which is vertical datum, then that surface must be fixed. It should not vary from person to person. And that's why that particular equipotential surface will be considered as your reference, which is best fitted with the mean sea level. And that's why whenever you find any benchmark or any point where height is mentioned, it is always given with respect to mean sea level. You must have seen that any point or any benchmark on the station or any hill point, it is given that height with respect to mean sea level. Now, that particular equipotential surface which is best fitted with MSL is also known as geoid. So this is a term which is used for vertical datum. So what is the vertical datum? It is geoid. So for vertical, or you can say height measurement, generally for all practical purpose, we actually use geoid, not the ellipsoid. Okay. Now, just understand it with some example. So this is the Earth surface, and if you try to fit a geoid, geoid will be like this. So geoid will not be like a smooth curve or mathematical surface like ellipsoid. So ellipsoid was a mathematical surface, that's why it was very smooth and a very definite pattern. But in this case, geoid is not a mathematical surface. You cannot give geoid by using some formula from some equation. So for every point, you can estimate the equipotential surface, and according to that, you find the geoid value. Okay, if you look at the figure, the geoid itself is somewhere below the Earth's surface and somewhere above the Earth's surface. And this is happening because of the density variation of Earth, because Earth is not an object having uniform density. And that's why the density varies, and because of the variation in density, gravity value also varies. And if gravity value varies, which means the geoid is also varying. So it will not be a smooth curve. So here I explain what is horizontal datum and what is vertical datum. Now coming to the coordinate system. So all of you must be aware about the Cartesian coordinates, which is actually x, y, and z value. And in this case, an x, y, z value is defined for entire Earth, for whole system. So I'm not going much detail about this particular system, Cartesian coordinate system, because it is not very popular And all of you have very basic idea about what is coordinate, Cartesian coordinate, what is x value, what is y value, what is z value. So the plane contain x and y coordinate, in the vertical direction you have a z coordinate. The next coordinate is actually your geographical coordinate or geographic coordinate system, which is phi, lambda, and h, and also known as latitude, longitude, and height, or you can say altitude. In this case, z and h. So for Cartesian as well as for geographic coordinate, z and h value both are defined geometrically. Why geometrically? Because I already told you that for ellipsoid, you use a geometrical property of the surface. And that's why you say that z and h value are defined geometrically. But as I already mentioned earlier, for surveying and other practical purpose, height, which is denoted as capital H, from the vertical datum is used. So for any practical purpose, height from the vertical datum is used, but not the small h, which is the height from reference ellipsoid. So again, I will show you with some figure, so it will be get clear to all of you. So you got the idea of h, small h, and capital H. So capital H is the height with respect to reference geoid. Now h is also known as geoidal height because it is with respect to geoid and it is defined gravitationally. The other name of h is orthometric height. So h is known, h is have very different name in different part of world. So somewhere it is known as geoidal height. Sometimes they also call it as a orthometric height. Now coming to geographical coordinate. So in geographical coordinate, the two parameter phi and lambda is actually used for the horizontal positioning. So latitude, which is phi, and longitude, which is lambda, is defined using an ellipsoid. And what is an ellipsoid? It is your horizontal datum. So lambda and phi are defined with respect to horizontal datum, while elevation, or you can say height, is defined using geoid, a surface of constant gravitational potential, which is also a vertical datum. So you are taking lambda and phi from the ellipsoidal coordinate and h from another source. You can say vertical datum. So this is a very important point you all need to remember. Now, Earth datum define the standard baseline value of all the ellipsoid and geoid, because if you define an ellipsoid or geoid, it will have some specific parameter. For example, for ellipsoid, it will have some, you can say, major axis, minor axis, its eccentricity and flattening and all those things. Similar thing for geoid. So some standard values are there for both the datum. And usually these two are used for general purpose atlases, maps, and textbook. So to understand relationship between Cartesian and geographic coordinate, there is a very beautiful animation by which I can show you how these two coordinates are related to each other. So consider this ellipse as an ellipsoid. So the best model of Earth. Now this is the center of the ellipsoid, which is also the center of the Earth. Now don't get confused center with the focus. So focus is something different. Center is the point where two axes intersect each other, the vertical axis and the horizontal axis. Now I am saying that the center is marked as O. Now these are three Cartesian axes, X, Y, and Z. All of you are aware about it. What is X axis, what is Y axis, and what is Z axis. Now I have to define what is called equator. And in this case, please keep in mind, Z axis is parallel to the axis of rotation. So your Z axis is parallel to axis of rotation. So if you define, or if you have a great circle, which is perpendicular to axis of rotation, then that great circle will be your equator. So few of you might don't know what is great circle. So let me give you an idea. So just consider a sphere. So if you try to cut a sphere at any point, the cross section area will have a circle. So if you try to cut a sphere at any point using blade or line or any knife, the cross section area will be a circle. Now the biggest circle that you can have from any sphere, that is called great circle. And it is a very important thing for any sphere or any ellipsoid. Okay, so in this case, the great circle is defined which is perpendicular to z-axis, because there are infinite number of great circles are possible. So the great circle which is perpendicular to z-axis, or you can say the axis of rotation, is called equator. Now consider another great circle which is passing through the axis of rotation like this. So this is a vertical great circle. Okay, and if you try to draw, you can have a multiple type of this great circle, so at different orientation. Now these vertical great circle which contain the axis of rotations are actually called meridians. So these vertical circles are meridian. So out of these infinite meridian, there is a one particular meridian which is passing through the Greenwich. So all of you must knowing this location, this point, this name, Greenwich, which is actually situated in England. So the meridian, or you can say great circle, which is passing through the Greenwich, is called your reference meridian or Greenwich meridian. So the for Cartesian axis, the x-axis is also passing through the Greenwich meridian. So now you get the idea what is Greenwich meridian, which is your starting off, or you can have the reference for longitude, and then you have an equator which is perpendicular to the axis of rotation. Now consider a point on the Earth's surface. So I have drawn a point just above the reference ellipsoid, and let the coordinate of this point is x, y, z in Cartesian, while phi, lambda and h in geographical coordinate. So all of you have idea what is x, y, z, because I am considering that all of you have a better understanding of the Cartesian coordinate. But let me explain you what is phi, lambda and h. Okay, so first, what is h? So if you try to draw a perpendicular from point P on the reference ellipsoid like this, you will get the altitude of the point, small h. Keep in mind, this is small h, not the vertical h, capital H, the with respect to vertical datum. So this small h is with respect to your reference ellipsoid, or sometimes it is also known as ellipsoidal height. Now if you try to project the same point on the point where it is projected perpendicularly and join it with the center, then you have a yellow arrow as shown in the diagram. Now this yellow arrow will make an angle with respect to equator, or you can say xy plane, this angle. So this angle is what is called latitude and represented as phi. So any point on the Earth's surface, if you try to join the location of that point with respect to the center of the ellipsoid, that line will make an angle with respect to equator, and that angle is called latitude and represented as phi. Now project the same point on the equator like this. So now I have projected the point which was on the ellipsoid to the equator, and then starting from x-axis, I make another rotation in equator or equatorial plane. Then the angle by which the red line moves is your longitude and represented as lambda. So what is latitude? It is the angle with respect to equator. What is longitude? It is the angle in xy plane with respect to Greenwich meridian. So by this way, you can have three coordinate of point P, phi, lambda, and h.